handle. Not too sure about that one. It might be Captain Kaplan.
Control yourself, Demon. We got a game to cast.
We've got a game to cast. Check it out anyway. You'll see a very scary picture of an Orianna cosplay on there. It's going to be MeetYourMakers as the blue team and Gambit as the red team. Things will be getting underway in just a moment. Let's have a look to see if we get any level 1 shenanigans. You're seeing, looking at, was it Darian again? Is Darian confusing you?
No, I was looking at Mackler. He's actually running 2-foot armor pen, 8% armor pen, 9% lifesteal, and 3% spell vamp. Interesting.
See how that works out for him. He technically is a caster, I guess, was Varus. Caster AD.
You're the only caster I care about, Demon.
Oh, wow.
God, that was weird.
That's a lie,
Never
because
again.
you love Freakmore.
He's a handsome man.
It's the chin strap. It sets you off. Nevertheless, we've seen where the wards are going to get placed. We are going to ward right down in the bottom bush, right in the top try bush as well. But no invades coming from either team. Nobody actually from MeetYourMakers going across the river. Not really a great deal of wards being placed at all by MeetYourMakers.
Yeah, a little bit surprising. Then again, I mean, typically when they do ward, it's aggressive. They want to be in your jungle with it. And we're going to see exactly what happens. But we do have... So pink ward actually dropped very early on middle, so they might actually want to say, over MeetYourMakers, that they want to go for a very early gank on Alex mid lane if Makade wants to take taunt relatively early on. So we're going to see how that one works for him, though, but that's a lot to invest, like, right away. That really is.
All he has is a pot and wards.
That's Vladimir.
That's Vladimir, yeah. But it means he hasn't spent all his gold at the start. He doesn't really need to, it feels, and Sharu is just going to be off helping out Kuban on the walls. So we do see the lane swaps as we did expect. Of course, Genja and Darker on Ashe, and Sona will be going up towards the top lane. That will be up against the Spider Lady of Kuban on Elise.
Okay, I'll say this for Kuban. I feel like I'm talking bad about him too much, but I know he relatively has a tough time in 1v2 lanes. Back in the promotion series for LCS Summer Split, he had a really tough time going on 1v2. So I hope he's been working on it, and we're going to find out here if he has. But it's going to be very tough because Genja's going to be doing a lot of damage, and it lets Genja get all that free farm.
We are going to see Libic going in with the wards, putting on towards the Tribush as well. They don't want to get Diamond coming aggressive, which he did tell me he was going to do. We'll see how it works out for him. Kha'Zix, meanwhile, in that bottom lane is going to be Darian. We'll see how that develops, because this is going to be an interesting one. Sharu was taken down very low by Alexic in a bit of a combo. Ignite was just ticking towards the end there as we passed across the screen as well. And we do have a bit of an invade coming on. We see Diamond Prox going for the blue.
And he's being aggressive. He's keeping true to his word right now, and he should be able to steal that away. But you did see quickly on your screen that Makade was sticking around middle lane. He wanted to make something happen there, but he's on the wrong side. And we might have a 3-man gank top lane. Diamond's coming around for this scoop on his level 2, so he might have his repel. I should have to check if he has it. He does have his repel, so this is going to be a really interesting dive.
It's going to be a dangerous, dangerous dive. Kuban, of course, no ward in that Tribush like they've just done in the bottom lane. So they went protective in the bottom lane, trying to expect Diamond to come there. Instead, Kuban just throw out the cocoon. Doesn't land. In that case, Diamond actually taking 2 tower hits there. He's going to force Kuban away. He's doing a lot of damage towards him as well. Ignite comes out from Kuban on towards Diamond, but that surely will be the top turret gone.
Okay, so very early aggression out of Gambit. They're trying to counter MeetYourMakers. They're trying to control the game. And we did see Alta versus MeetYourMakers multiple times that when MeetYourMakers doesn't have the control of the game, they're playing defensive, they're playing reactionary, their skill kind of not skill is kind of drop a little bit, but they don't necessarily know what to do 100%, and they have a tough time coming back from that. So Gambit taking advantage of that in every way possible. Very smart play by them.
Controlled aggression, first turret going down. Gambit will pick that one up inside 4 minutes. And we can see actually the bottom turret as well. Lipic and Makler putting a lot of damage down on that one as well. Darian actually taking a good bit of damage from that piercing arrow and the hail of arrows. Instead, they're just going to farm it up. So they are going to be facing Genja and Darker in that bottom lane in just a moment. Alexic actually very low on mana. He's going to go back to buy as well, while Sharu continues his farming spree in the mid.
Farming? He's not doing too much of that right now. Instead of 15 to 26, he's having obviously a tough time, and it's Vladimir. So you expect him to have a decently hard time until that level 9 point where he has his transfusion completely maxed out. But he's going to be going for that selfish spell vamp item. So that's why I think that's why he kind of saved his money in the beginning, just to kind of get that and make sure he can buy it relatively early on. But just like I said, Gambit, they're coming down to 2v2 here. Genja, he hasn't built a tier. He has 2 Doran's Blades. Doesn't have really much any more money for anything else besides that. But sitting at level 4, and when that level 6 happens, Darker, I mean, he's a little bit behind Genja at this point. So when he gets 6, we're going to see some fights break out.
We'll see how it develops. There is the double amp tone being picked up by Sharu. Has got teleport, of course.
There it is.
There is the teleport about to come in. He has also got Ghost as well if he wants to go full-on aggressive. Darker was the one that was caught. Makler did land the piercing arrow, but it's just not enough damage coming out yet from MeetYourMakers.
Yeah, that was a really ballsy teleport by him. I mean, it almost caught Gambit off guard. They almost were able to burst down Darker because he's level 2, and that's the reason they went in for it. But now they should be able to get this turret down.
Well, look at the river, though. We can see the Darian's coming down. Diamond Prox is also coming from the top lane. There's going to be 4 members of Genja. Genja manages to get the arrow on towards them. He's not quite hit 6. It doesn't matter because he slows them enough. Charu is going to try and get away from this one. Diamond Prox gets the first blood. Libic also taken very low. And, well, Gambit, 4-man pushing. The turrets is in trouble, honestly, here because MeetYourMakers can't defend this. They have to back away. It doesn't matter. They're going Dragon.
Yeah, they're going to go for Dragon here potentially, and they should be able to get that as well because they have the 4 members there. In the meantime, though, Kuban is top lane, so he's going to try to push out as quick as possible, and that Dragon, it's going on very slowly, but with Sona there to heal you up, you should be completely fine. In the meantime, you do see Alex. He's going to be pushing middle here. Makade backed away.
Well, the crowd are definitely getting picked up. You like to try and quiet the home crowd as much as you can. Maybe getting that first blood in there, but it has not worked for MeetYourMakers. Sharu has just about to hit 6, which means, of course, that Hemo Plague will be available. But until that comes in, he's going to have problems. And now he's going to have to back away. He's going to have to back away. Genja and Darker back in there. It's too dangerous a lane for him. And Alex is getting all the free farm in the world right now. Build up a 15 CS advantage over Sharu in that mid lane.
And this is going to get very troublesome right now because Charu is just having a tough time kind of getting his foot in the ground. He's being pressured quite a bit by Darker as well as Genja here. But he needs to get that level 9 point. He really does. He needs to get his items. He needs to get that spell vamp item to really kind of sustain quite a bit. He's actually getting very low here.
He's dead. I think he's going to have to pull away from this one if level 6 comes out for Genji in a moment, which he's quite a distance from getting, actually. It won't be happening anytime soon. That Enchanted Crystal Arrow is not available. Libic going very, very aggressive here, knowing that he has got the support of Makata creeping in there, trying to bait them to actually turn aggressive on him. You are going to have Makta joining him as well, so that's 3 members of MeetYourMakers back on this bottom turret. Remember, it's very low right now, this bottom turret.
The thing is, what Gambit did to stop Makade from getting around, like we've seen him play Shen multiple times, do extremely well in Shen multiple times, but they took away that blue in the beginning, if you remember, if you cast your mind back, and that really held him back because he was playing very reactionary, and Diamond was the one that was putting on the aggression. He was the one trying to force some things, force the first blood bottom, force the dragon, and now Gambit, they have a nice strong lead here. And you gotta be careful of this blue buff because MeetYourMakers, they're coming up to it.
They're going up towards it. Alex is on it. Diamond Prox is about to come around as well. Can they manage to try and get on towards it? They see the minions there. They do come in. They get the steal. Makata picks it up.
That's gonna hurt quite a bit on Alex, but still, he's doing very fine on farm right now. 51, leading the entire game so far. But MeetYourMakers now, they're gonna be aggressive. They're gonna try to push here. And we do see Darren jump over the wall, and looks like Gambit actually just going to sit back here. So Genja, he's doing what he does best, going off by himself, farming away, letting the rest of Gambit here hold this turret down. And as the game goes on, I mean, Gambit, they're stronger right now, but when Alex starts to get his items built up really soon, they're going to be able to decimate MeetYourMakers.
We'll see how it develops. Darian, of course, has been farming away as well. He's got that Tear of the Goddess now. He's going to try and stack that one up alongside him. Kuban still yet to really get any items out. Ward being placed out there. And Diamond, well, they want to get in the outfade. It's actually Darian that's going to get spotted out. He has to jump away. The Hail of Arrows comes in there. Are we going to see Diamond Prox get this one stolen away? He does manage to get the smite on it, but Kuban goes aggressive. He has to slide away. While this is all happening, Alex is just continuing the free farm. He had no intention of ever coming to get that blue buff. They were happy just to let Diamond take it.
We talked earlier about this in the 2 games of CIS where we saw Oriana 2 times. One of them got held back, did nothing. The other one did extremely well, did insane amount of damage, and Alex, that's all he's focused on. He wants to keep this farm up because he knows the impact he's going to make is going to be crazy. So as long as he keeps this up, Gambit's going to look very strong as Kuban. He's already behind CS in the top lane as we see Charu and Makade sticking around bottom, which is a little bit interesting as Charu with a spell vamp item. He should be able to hold this himself, but Makade, he's behind in levels, and he needs that level 6 point.
Yeah, it's just when to help him get some farm, get to that level 6, which he has just done. So Stand United will be available should as and when they need it, which does mean, of course, with that teleport, they can try and get a numbers advantage at some position on the map. Darian now getting that free farm, continuing on to keep the pressure on towards Kuban in that top lane. And actually, the CS is equal between the two now. You can see both at 40, well, they were until Kuban decides to just clear out and feast on that wave.
We've seen this happen before, something really similar. It was SK versus Evil Geniuses back at DreamHack as the final game where SK ended up winning. Ocelot got hurt very bad in lane when he was middle against Froggen, and he was on Kha'Zix obviously, but they switched him bottom. They took an early turret, he went bottom, got a lot of free farm, which currently Darian's doing. He's keeping that lane push up, he's constantly farming away because he knows if he keeps this up, his damage is going to excel. And that whole point of hurting him early on isn't going to matter.
Well, you can see that Libic and Makler, they're trying to prevent Alexic from farming here, which is very difficult to do against an Ariana. He's probably one of the best 2v1s you can ever get, certainly in that mid lane. We do see Diamond, though, hankering off at the side there. He wants to slide in, hasn't used that Cataclysm in anger just yet, and will maybe be able to create something here. Instead, wave gets cleared, they all back away.
I just imagine him screaming, Demacia, as he goes in with that Cataclysm, really angry like, that's very true, he hasn't used it just yet. And we'll see what happens here as they're trying to stop him from farming, but it's not working out too well so far as Chari's now sitting bottom lane. So he's trying to do the same thing Darian's doing. He's trying to get a lane where he can just farm in. However, he's against a lane that can really push him out and really punish him. And Diamond, he's waiting to go in here. He wants to make a play happen. They have the ball available. And if you see Alex get the ball in the right spot, he might ultimate, and you might see Diamond come in from the side.
Well, he's going to show himself instead. Comes across, Alex, he wants to go back to buy. And Diamond just slides on through and says, right, I'll take the race. I've been standing around long enough. And we do see Gambit immediately coming back in towards this top lane. So they want to just protect the turret. They realize that if they leave Makler and Libic alone, he probably will get a lot of damage down there towards it. They are going to buy themselves a little bit of time to get towards their grasping routes. Not quite at range to take down Diamond there. And quickly, the volley comes in. And Genja wipes the wave out.
Something that MYM is being really hesitant to do, that they always do in their games, is the really heavy aggressive warding. They haven't been able to get a turret, or actually, sorry, they got one turret at the bottom, but typically when they get that first turret down, if they're the team to get the first turret, then they're just warding up the enemy jungle and they try to just take away every camp. And right now they haven't been able to, which worries me a little bit, as we do see though, Genja has his Terry, starting to stack it up, and we're going to see that Mirror Mana come out of him.
Yeah, of course, it turns that Q on. Every single basic attack just stacks it on there. We do see Spirit, the extra Spectral Wraith, also being picked up by Sharu, as you mentioned earlier on. Getting that selfish lifesteal item.
Yeah, that's not selfless.
Selfish, yeah. Meanwhile, actually, Bilgewater Cutlass just been picked up as well by Makler, so he's going to be going for the Runic Bulwark already early on, as long as those, along with the Berserker Greaves. Good God, my mouth, yeah, it's just gone out the window.
And we're going to see, as the game goes on, what items are built up here. As Alex, he's going for more of a well, not utility, it sounds a little weird, but going more towards utility, not going for that straight upfront burst with the Morello, or not the Morellos. Actually, it depends. He might go Morello Nomicon, but most likely the Theans and Holy Grail here. And Dragon, it's up, it's live. Gambit did get the last one here, and they want to try to stop it.
Yeah, and BF Sword was just picked up by Genja, so he's coming back with that damage item now, and he's going to be doing a lot more damage, actually, than Makler will be able to. So we'll see whether Gambit want to force this one. Well, you think it's questionable.
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole point is that Ashe, you auto-attack, that's it. Your volley does help, but Varus is a caster AD, so you're going to do percent damage plus the piercing arrow damage, hail of arrows, etc. But it's going to get to that point where it's very close.
They're never going to get a straight 1v1, though, when there's Diamond and Darian on Genja. On Genja. They will be on Genja. They'll be protecting him.
Sorry.
Don't look at me like that. Your mind is a strange place, and I never want anyone else on the stream to go there.
There was a belt somewhere in there. But anyways, so we do see MeetYourMakers, they don't know where to go. Like, is that just me, or do you see it as well? Like, they don't know exactly how to react at this point.
Yeah, because like you just mentioned it earlier on, the fact that MeetYourMakers, they're so used to having the advantage, that's how they win the games. And as it stands, Gambit are just starting to bully them slowly, actually doing a bit of an Evil Geniuses, just driving them out of the lane. MeetYourMakers going to try and set up for the dragon here. They do get the ward down, and Genja, he is miles away from this fight. He's now starting to head down the river. They surely realized, they surely saw him there. Oh, that's going to be the flash. Oh, flash Shadow Dash not working. That's the first time I've seen it fail from Makata. Now look at that, they're just backing away.
And now, I mean, if Genja actually shot an arrow down there, he'd be able to hit someone for that full stun duration, and Gambit should be able to blow them up, tie that in with the crescendo. But Gambit, they're not going for it either. They're just trying to keep MYM there so Genja can push his top lane, get that turret down, and give them a little bit of extra gold.
Well, it does mean that everybody from MeetYourMakers is backed away. Makler's just getting that farm in that mid lane, keeping Diamond Procs busy. We saw Alex actually forced away by Libic and Sharu there in the bottom lane as well, briefly. And this is a bit of a stalemate between the two. This is a lot slower. You know, MeetYourMakers weren't lying. They said they were going to slow the game down. Gambit wanted to take it aggressive. Blue buff, though, being picked up by Genja. Maybe the first of many.
I wanted to argue with MeetYourMakers saying they're going to slow the game down, but it was Libix. So I was like, okay, I understand. Let that one happen. I'm going to back away. But Gambit, they're starting to go for Dragon here. They do have 4 members here. Genja's going to be coming down from River. He still has arrow available. We see the ultimate from Shen come in. And they might try to go for this.
It's Stan United coming out towards Kuban. Flashes, gets the Cocoon down. Darian's the focus, but straight away the Shockwave comes out. He does manage to get the Hemoplague down, Sharu, but it's not really going to be enough. Not a great deal of damage. Are they going to be able to get one down? You see Darian drop. Diamond Prox goes down. MeetYourMakers, can they get on towards Genja? They need to try and close the gap. Flashes out of the grasping roots there. Turns back around, puts another volley down, but that was 2 kills for MeetYourMakers there. The Dragon is still up.
I'm not sure. Okay, no, they're being healed up right here. I was about to say, I'm not sure if they can fully go for it because Alex is still here, Genja's still here, and Libix is taking some damage.
The flash comes out from Makler. They're going to try and turn this one back around again, but as you mentioned, the damage there, they're still tanking the Dragon as well on Charu. Charu's going to go down here. He's not going to be able to try and get away with it. Paul, the blood comes out. Is it going to be enough? Genja uses that barrier. Piercing arrow comes through. Kuban still gets away with it, but that was a 2-for-0 trade this time around for Gambit. You have to question why they went back for that Dragon, because now Gambit have free reign to pick it up.
2-for-0 and a 3-on-4. That's not a good trade anyway. The MeetYourMakers, they were able to win the first little skirmish that they saw. They ended up blowing that lead right there. And now Gambit, just like he said, having the members who died, came back full health, are going to be able to take this Dragon really easily. And that hurts MeetYourMakers quite a bit, though. I will give them credit. That was actually a good play with them to go for the initial engage, but I agree with you. They should have backed away after.
Yeah, they were just too low, and the fact that Alexis was completely untouched, they were always going to come in for this one. Teleport comes in from Sharu. Well, what is he going to be able to create from this one? You see Makata also coming around, but you can see the Dragon already down, and that's going to be one sliding away. Diamond can just slide his way through if and when he chooses. I'm not too sure whether he wants to. He's going to stick around. Crescendo not available, so we do see, slides back into Makler, not really the one you want to find. Piercing arrow comes out, and Makler will pick himself up a kill. Darian still trying to run away from this one. Could go through the turrets. I think he may just be able to escape through the jungle.
He should be able to. I mean, he's a casualty. He does have a jump available. No one's really in the vicinity to chase him down, so looks like he will escape here. Alex, in the meantime, going to be attacking the top turret, and then Genja, middle here, going to be pushing this middle lane. So, Gambit, even though they lost Diamond, they still come out ahead because of that Dragon take. And they don't have that much of a goalie. Like, to be honest, this game is still very close. It's really anyone's game. Charwar's pushing the ball lane right now as he's being forced to back away here. And Gambit, they're just trying to keep aggression on these 2 lanes, the top and middle.
But it's a 50 CS lead building up now for Alexic over Sharu, which is why Sharu has to be down there. His teleports, he's been coming for the kills, but he's not been able to get them. Every time he teleports in, something backfires for him. Oh, Chain of Corruption missing out from Makler there. Again, just simply sidesteps it, turns around, puts the arrow down. In comes Alexic. He has not got flash available. If he closes in, the ball could come down. Shockwave not wasted there because he knew the ball was in this time around. Diamond Prox Cataclysm in. There's the Shockwave. Does manage to take down Sharu. Makata taken low. Genja going aggressive this time around. He loves this build.
I love it too. I might start playing this when I get back home when I have some time to play, but it's working out perfectly for him. He's able to get that frost shot on permanently. He's able to volley spam, and now with a 5-man Gambit here, they're going to be able to push this turret down, increase the lead to 1. And that is a lot of gold now that's starting to get in favor of Gambit here. And not to mention gold, they have quite a bit to spend when they do go back. And this is getting to the point where if MeetYourMakers don't pull out something soon, then the game's going to slip away from them.
Absolutely, 5k gold, and you never ever get ahead of Gambit, no matter how well you're playing, because they'll always find a way to keep that farm ticking, despite the fact they could be losing in kills. As it stands, they're not. They're 4-3 up in kills, they're 2-1 up in turrets, and they are 1-0 up in dragons as well. So every advantage, they will out-farm you, out-level you, and out-kill you.
And they're proving it right here. So we do see, actually, really interesting. Alex bought home guard boots very, very early on.
He does that.
Yeah, so he definitely wants to get around the map. He definitely wants to keep his farm up, which, like you mentioned before, 50 CS lead. Actually, Charu hasn't gotten, he hasn't gotten 1 CS in about a minute and a half right there because Alex was able to increase the lead even further. He's 2-0-1. He's got 6,500 gold total to the 4,500 onto Charu. So he has that 2,000 gold lead. It's really going to start to show once he picks up whatever item he wants to go for, most likely a death cap. But now Darian, didn't see Makler get in there. We do see Libit coming in from the side. He might have trouble here. However, Diamond is in the city, so is Genja, so they could turn this around.
They could turn this around. They think they've got a 3-on-1. They think Libit can throw in there. Grasping roots don't land. But look at Darian. He's just like, I'm safe here because the arrow, sidesteps, but it lands on towards Kuban. It's Libit they jump on towards. There's going to be the Strangle Thorns. That does actually catch on towards Diamond, and the Cocoon follows straight away. They're not going to be able to pounce through in this one, and everybody backs away. A couple of ultimates used, though.
But in the end, though, because it is Genja, I believe he did have blue buff at the time, so the cooldown on that arrow is going to be very short, but they held them back, and Charu he wanted to go for a push on this middle turret, but immediately Genja turns around, Alex turns around, and he stops it.
Stops it dead. Libic just using that grasping roots to cover off the plants, keep vision over at the Baron area as well. 19 minutes gone, not beyond the realms of possibility. We have seen an 18-minute Baron this weekend. Of course, it was in the CIS tournament, though, and not in the LCS so far. Libic backing off. That's going to be a blue buff in danger of being taken away. Gambit, of course, Darian did take it. Diamondprox took it last time around. He was in there. That's going to be started off. Sharo has to pull away there, gets away from him. Alexich in trouble. Crescendo comes across just at the right time. Alexich will pick up that kill. Makata now having to get away, but Diamondprox comes sliding in. Cataclysm comes down there. Pancakes on him. Genja picks up that kill, turns on towards Kubon, keeps that slow going, gets the volley down there, and just steps away once again.
And this is exactly what we saw Gambit do yesterday against Alternate. Or it was day one, whatever day it was, it's too many days. But the thing is, when one goes in, they're always there around them. Like, they will always come as 5. If you think you're like, oh yeah, we got this guy all by himself, we got Alex, we got him taunted, we're gonna kill him. But then all of a sudden, 4 members of Gambit come out of the woodworks and just completely catch you off guard, picking up 2 kills. And MeetYourMakers, they're not looking too good as this gold lead is spreading to almost 7,000.
Another blue buff picked up by Genja. I said he wouldn't be the first, and it's definitely not going to be the last. He's going to keep on his vantage, pushing on there. Haunting guys picked up by Kubon, only just with those Source Boots. He's desperately trying to get something building up here on Elise, and it's not working out for him. Merkler's going to get himself a chunk of farm there. Still not got that build water cutlass completed into a Blade of the Rune King, which he's been desperately trying to get. Falling way behind, honestly, on Genja in build. And this is just all big danger signs by MeetYourMakers here, because, well, Gambit on their home soil are starting to look unstoppable.
Ooh, Alex is just barely going to escape that grasping right there, but you're definitely right. Look at the CS counts that we have. I mean, Genja sitting at 166 farm to the 137. Alex, 190 farm to 119 on Charu. Like, they are leaps and bounds ahead of them, not to mention they're up in kills and everything, and this is becoming really tough for MeetYourMakers. So Alex actually looks like, ooh, wanting to go for something there, but the turret very low. You should be able to pick this one up.
Well, Charu just can't defend this one anymore, and the ball will be keeping him away. You can see he does take himself that turret down. The rest of the team rotating around as well. Kubon actually in that bush there. He's going to come headstrong in towards... Oh, throws out the cocoon. Doesn't land it on Genja. They all sidestep and split away. Diamondprox going down the bottom there. He might slide in. He gets on towards Makler, and straight away the ball delivery system is there. Makler has to use the barrier. They flash out of the Stranglethorns, and now Darker's trying to keep them at bay. Kubon's going to get the repel gone towards it. There's going to be Makata coming through. The Diamondprox tries to get in towards them. That's going to be the Hemoplague. Is that going to be enough on Gambit? Yes, it will be. They do pick up 1. They pick up 2. Shari now chasing on towards Darker. He's going to try and collapse on towards it. We also see Makata actually getting away. He didn't manage to get that Stand United going. Darker tries to turn around, tries to get a kill on Makler. Not going to happen. MeetYourMakers turn it back on his head. They get a 3-for-1. They may be able to take Dragon, but you can see Darian, he wants to try and clean up.
Yeah, but Genja, he's not done. He's pushing middle right now, and Darian, he's going to try to clamp. He's going to go for Libic.
Oh, he tries to get in there. That's going to be the grasping root. The hell of arrows is going to slow him down as well. We nearly had a moment there, but look at this. While it's all happening, Genja gets himself another advantage. So many times this happens, and he works down that turret. Nobody's getting close to him.
He should be able to get that one done. Actually, no, decided to back away instead, but you did actually see, or you didn't see it, but it happened. Genja actually arrowed Makata and stopped him from getting involved in the bottom, though. I guess in the end, it didn't really matter too much, but still, he was able to push the middle lane, able to get some damage. And Darren, he's not done just yet. He does have a ward over that wall. He wants to go in on Charu here, or try to take away the golem, but doesn't do either.
Yeah, a bit late on the Void Spikes there. Rub buff just spawned, doesn't matter, gets the team call, and he's going to go in and take that Dragon. So more Dragon control for Gambit, which keeps that goal ticking in their favour, despite the fact MeetYourMakers just turned that 3-on-1 fight around. And it is, of course, now still just shy of 8,000 gold difference between the two teams.
Yeah, we do see Diamond actually look on your minimap coming around towards Reddit. He's trying to go for a steal here, which he does not get, but Makata, so he builds his jungle Shen just like this, where he ends up going for the Sunfire Cape. He doesn't go for like a supporty type of build with Aegis and Lock and stuff like that. He wants to go for that potential split pushing. However, he's the only tank on his team right now. I mean, Charu, he will have his Zonias relatively soon, so he will be able to take up a lot of damage and then obviously use it, but that's a long time away. And then you look over at Genja right now, his Mirror Man is done. Like, he just evolved a little bit. I guess he went, got a little bit of a power up there. So he's
spikes coming out his back.
I was going to say something else, but he's going to be really strong right now, so it's going to be hard for MeetYourMakers, who luckily for them have 3 members who are building armor at this point, so it shouldn't do too much, but in the end it's still going to hurt quite a bit.
But oh, look at this. Alexich has found himself another split push wave, and he's just going to farm out. He's actually getting close to being 100 CS ahead of Charu now on Vlad, and Vlad is a pretty fast farmer when he gets going. But look at MeetYourMakers. They have got 5 members up the mid lane. They may try and push this one. It may turn back on their faces because Alexich is coming up river.
Right now, yeah, I was watching that, but luckily they do have a ward there to spot him coming in. So, and so he plays it safe. He goes around the back, and Diamond Prox is nowhere near right now. So he's actually farming that top lane, and he has a little bit of a lead over his counterpart Makati. He's actually catching up to Darien at this point in terms of CS. Genji gonna be taking red buff here. And with Diamond coming down, this could signal the engage.
It could do. We did just see the ball, actually. He didn't quite catch it on the screen, catching on towards Kuban and Makata, hence their damage that they both have. And they're the two tankiest targets for MeetYourMakers. And there was a lot of damage coming out just from one little combo of Alex Ich. Didn't bother pulling the trigger on the Shockwave, but with that Rabadon's complete and that Fiends, he is definitely doing a lot of damage right now. And Gambit, once that wave comes through, look at Genji, who's just off the side. He wants to fire that enchanted arrow.
And it just depends on who it's going to land on. It's going to snowball the fight for them. If he can hit Kuban, if he can hit Char, if he can hit Makler, they're going to build him up. But instead, they're actually just push middle here. And with, MeetYourMakers backing away, that's a free turret.
It's a free turret. The minion wave comes in. Now they're going to pressure on towards the inhibitor turret as well. We just saw one teleport back. There goes the arrow, lands on Makler, and immediately Darien follows in with Darker. Shockwave comes and he gets melted where he stands. Darien also jumps away from the turret damage that was coming out there. Genji uses that barret, tanks it up. Hemo Plague, well, it's not really going to be enough. Blood, is it going to be enough? No! As soon as he comes out, Alex times it perfectly, and boom, he just blows up. You can see Gambit, they're going to step in. It's a 3 for 0, and going to be the inhibitor turret for Gambit.
So well played. That is Ashe. That is the strongest initiate in the game right there with that arrow. You catch Makler with it, you're going to jump in on Kha'Zix, you're going to jump in on Jarvan, you're going to make him a pancake, you're going to try to Guma stop him as well. But in the meantime, Darien, he went over towards top lane. He wanted to go for a push onto this, and he should be able to get that turret down as well. So not only do they get 3 kills, not only do they get the turret and the inhibitor, they're going to get a second turret on top of it.
Yeah, Darien doing work there. And he was in there at the start of the fight. He was the one that jumped out and says, you know what, my work here is done. I'm going to get me some free farm.
No words. Don't mean to say anything when you hear the entire crowd cheering for Gambit. I think I've ever heard that until we obviously got here to Russia, but they're playing phenomenal, and it seems like the energy from the crowd is making them play even better as well. And right now, they look unstoppable.
And this would actually stretch their lead and close the gap on alternate, but take them to a 6-game win streak. Gambit, they mean business in the summer split, and why the hell not? They finished 3rd place at the Season 2 World Finals. They went down to the winners in the semi-finals. They want revenge on Taipei Assassins as well as the Korean scene, because of course they were shown up at the Intel Extreme Masters Championships. Darker, I thought, may well get charged on by Libic there instead. Oh, and instead he's going to turn it around, flashes, but he only goes into the direction of the crystal arrow. Diamond comes sliding in, gets the slowdown. Libic, well, you're dead. There's no doubt about it. He just gets the passive pop, and where are you going to aim it at doesn't really matter.
Those Ashe arrows are so strong, and Genji, he's doing a phenomenal job. I mean, to be able to hit someone that flashes it is pretty damn hard.
Well, he flashed in a straight line. I mean, I'm no pro myself, but I know if that arrow's coming at me, it's not going to differ in direction. Sharu, though, he's just getting melted by Alex Ich. This is showing the sheer difference between the two mid laners. We talked about how well Sharu's been playing in this mid lane before, the many games he's had. But, once you come against Alex Ich, you're in a different league.
If you're down 100 CS as well, I mean, he's having a tough time because he wasn't able to farm early on against Alex, and then he went bottom to farm in a 1v2, which didn't work out well for him, and Alex has just been increasing his lead ever so slightly with the entire time, but Kuban, he might get caught here if you look over towards the top side.
Well, he's going to get leaped in. Darien's also there, so Diamond Props comes on towards him. Kuban has to get away from that one. The Shadow Dash comes out from Makata, but not really landing on anyone. They didn't go aggressive on Libic. I thought they may. The rest of MeetYourMakers are reacting to this one while it's all happening. Alex is just continuing that wave, sliding along the bottom lane, but it's the top lane here. You can see the inhibitor turret is going to go down. That's the second now for Gambit. They're going to keep pushing on towards the inhibitor. MeetYourMakers, they have to defend this one, or they're simply going to lose their pace. They land the cocoon on Diamond. The Chain of Corruption does not land, and Gambit successfully back away. There's the crescendo, went on towards Libic. Kuban also going to get away from that one. He tries to repel in there. Another flash Shadow Dash, not working out for Makata. The rest of the team turning around. There's the Crystal Arrow, lands on towards Libic. Darien comes in, gets one reset, jumps on towards Kuban as well. They're slowing them down. You can see the Shockwave pulls it in. Darien gets the second, jumps in for the third. Can he go down Makata? He's going to get to the fountain. He won't be able to finish that off. Hemo Play comes out from Sharu. He tries to pull the blood. Is it going to be enough damage? No, it's not. Alex Ich is there. Cleans house. Makler trying to back away. His brother comes back out to try and defend him, but Genja has the defensive ball of Alex Ich, and you can see Gambit take down the inhibitor. They're going to push on maybe on this one. They could close the game out here against MeetYourMakers. Gambit, the crowd chant, and Gambit is going to be the winning team. MeetYourMakers, they're going to go down here. It's going to be Gambit setting themselves up stop here in Moscow, in Russia, in front of their home crowd. They're going to go 6 wins on the bounce and take them to